Meet Your Eyes. January 21, 2020 by Anna von Reitz. As I have already and at some length explained, all law comes from religion. That includes the religion of science. This is because religion naturally begets precepts, tenets, truths, and these become doctrines and laws. It is part of the categorization function of our brains. We do this sifting and winnowing process of discernment by nature, and it has always been part of us to engage in this process of developing beliefs in science, called theories, though it is the same thing, and testing those beliefs until we arrive at a settled agreement about the truth of our beliefs, which becomes a law. Notice the capital L on law. So, for example, in Judeo-Christian Ecclesiastical Law, we have the law of kinds, mandating that men can only contract with other men, and business organizations with other business organizations. In science, we have the First Law of Thermodynamics. All incipient laws follow the same pathway into existence: observation, hypothesis, testing of the hypothesis, belief in the hypothesis, recognition of the content of the hypothesis as law, for the purposes of that group of believers. Both religion and science, if they are sane and proper, admit that their laws are the truth to the best of the ability of the believers to find truth, and they hold out the possibility, however remote it might seem at the time, that they could be wrong to one degree or another. Just as a scientific theory can never be truly proven, neither can a religious belief. At best, a long and thorough testing that consistently yields the same results may be relied upon as the most likely true answer or, at least, can be avowed as such by a group of believers, whether those believers are scientists or monks. A religious process of belief, like a line of scientific inquiry, can yield results that are right or wrong or some of both, and the doctrines and precepts and rules that men derive from their beliefs in religious theories, like their scientific theories, can be right or wrong or some of both. It turns out that in order to understand law or what goes on in a courtroom or what goes on in your world, you have to understand the religion giving rise to the law, and that, if you take the quest, requires going back a very long time indeed, all the way back to the Stone Age. What religion goes back that far and underlies all the laws and systems of law that we know today, including all our scientific laws? It's called magic or mandamus, but not in the sense we use those words today, and not even in the sense that the Bible talks about sorcery. We are not talking about soothsayers and summoning the dead and shaking boxes full of bones and reading tarot cards. Not the religion of Babylon. We are talking about searching for the fundamental truths of nature and the powers of nature and the results of that search over a very, very long time. Now I am going to take you on a short mental trip into the worldview of this very ancient religion so you can better understand both this particular religion and the world you live in and co-create. Imagine that you are standing in the middle of an old-fashioned carpenter's shop, with wooden workbenches and hand tools scattered about and half-finished projects everywhere. It's a very pleasant place. Sunshine is pouring in through the windows, and you feel perfectly at home as you look around. This is the true God's workshop. We call it now. It's where we spend our waking hours. It's where we work and create and have our power, along with all the other people who work here, developing new ideas and tools and models. It's a wonderful, empowering place to be. But, if you turn your attention to the floor of this workshop, you will notice that it seems dark and dirty and littered with all sorts of detritus that needs to be cleaned up and cleared out. This is the shadowland where all the debris of the creative process goes, the half-finished thoughts and dreams, the discarded theories, the rubbish of the universe. There are doors opening off the main workshop, and as you step into these, they offer you different views. These are the so-called higher dimensions, though in fact, they are part of the same dimension as the workshop, obviously. Just like you can see a different view from the back of your house than from the front of your house, these rooms let you see yourself and other people from different perspectives. If you step out the door of the workshop, you find yourself in a very strange place indeed, a place where black is white and white is black, like an old-time photographic negative, and strangest of all, you find yourself standing on a gridwork of light. This is the time grid, a locational gridwork that allows you to find any past or present time, person, or action. Now, this gridwork appears completely square on a local basis, like grid paper marked off in squares, but as you perceive distance, it curves in an odd way. As you learn to navigate in this strange world of the time grid, you realize that time is space and locked to spatial coordinates, but is, at the same moment, completely malleable and fluid. You can pick up a corner of the time grid and fold it over to another square of the time grid, like folding a fishing net. Well, it's all very strange, but not threatening. This is, after all, your Father's creation and you are safe within it and part of it. You don't have to understand it all at once. You are free to take baby steps and explore at your own pace. So these are the basic elements: your Father's workshop, where you help build and co-create the world, the shadowland of detritus on the floor of the workshop, the rooms with different views opening off the workshop, and the time grid, just outside the door. Your Father's workshop, where we co-create our world, is what we call now, and there is no other now. Everything that was in the past and everything that will be in the future is outside the door, on the time grid. And none of it is ever lost or disordered once it is complete. I called this article Meet Your Eyes because I want to describe how I first became aware of perceptual physics, or what some people are calling quantum physics, though that is an inadequate description, too. I was about 17 and driving down a multi-lane interstate highway in the Midwest in the late morning on a summer day. Everything was bright and clear and the road was dry, not the least hint of any kind of roadway danger, when a small white sub-compact car came whizzing by at very high speed on my left-hand side. I watched in horror as the driver lost control and the car went spinning and twirling end for end down the road in front of me, and with equal distress saw the two semi-truck trailers, also just in front of me and on either side, both right and left, start veering violently away from the center lane, and the wreck happening directly in front of me. It seemed that I had no options at all. Either I plowed into the white car which was now in my lane, or one or both of those careening truck trailers were going to swing around like a baseball bat and send me to the moon. In that instant, I found myself looking down at the unfolding drama from a vantage point about 300 feet above the roadway, and everything that was happening slowed down to a very nice manageable pace. I could see that the white car was heading to a resting place just beyond the pillars of an upcoming overpass, and that if I just kept driving at the same speed and in the same lane, I'd avoid the whole mess and just shoot past it all. Which I did. My eyesight returned to its normal vantage point, and the slow motion feature went back to normal speed, and that was that. But how could that be? Many people who have faced truly threatening situations have reported this same perceptual shift, very clearly saying that time stopped or everything moved in slow motion. Some people, about 1 in 100 of those who report the slow motion effect, also do what I did, and shift the vantage point from which they are viewing the slow motion action. So, of course, I had to investigate this. For the next 10 years or so, whenever I would meet with veterans or firemen or others in dangerous professions, I would invite discussions about the slow motion effect and found that it was a universal, common as dirt phenomenon. In really, truly dangerous situations, I concluded that the film either slows down, or our ability to perceive the film speeds up so that the unfolding action appears to slow down. Add that to the fact that we know precisely how fast still photos have to be projected to give us the illusion of live-action motion pictures, and how fast a hummingbird's wings have to move before they appear to disappear entirely, and you have a fecund basis from which to understand both illusions and facts about mathematics, time, space, energy, gravity, mass that doesn't really exist, and a great many other things that neither science nor religion can account for. When neither science nor religion can explain something, they have a nasty tendency to discount it, because it disturbs both their established prejudices and their gravy trains. In their efforts to evade knowledge that doesn't fit their suppositions, they will go to great lengths and hurl great insults and even inspire great fears, as we have seen with the current nonsensical non-debate about human-caused climate change. It turns out that if you go back tens of thousands of years and study the laws of high magic, you will find that our distant ancestors knew and cared far more about the truth and the actual nature of our world than we do. It also turns out that these laws underlie every other system of law on the planet. We will explore more about your Father's workshop and about the nature of nature and also the nature of law, and if you stick with it, you will come to a new understanding of yourself and your world. You will discover God-given abilities you never knew you had, and you will be empowered. Use these gifts for good. Share these gifts with others so that they also become empowered. Don't hoard your knowledge, thinking to use it as an advantage over others, or to deceive or for any other vain purpose. The time has come when those who love the true God will do miracles for His glory. All you have to do in equitable exchange is to get up every day and ask yourself, what can I do today, right here and right now, to make the world a better place, and then, go do it. Please consider making a small donation to help support Anna von Reitz and the Living Law Firm, by visiting theamericanstatesassembly.net, scroll to the bottom and click on the Donate Now button. Thank you.